Welcome to Ruse Booze, Manic Mead Monday. Today, we are making a Bochet. Here's the list of equipment and ingredients you'll need. 2 flagons, about 2 to 3 liters, one for primary fermentation and one for when you rack. A bung and airlock. A stirring spoon. Some measuring containers. An alcohol hydrometer and hydrometer test jar to measure gravity readings. A funnel. A pot to caramelize the honey in. A stick-on thermometer. A mead or wine yeast. We're using Mangrove Jack's mead yeast, MO5. No rinse sanitizer. Yeast nutrients. Campden tablets or powder, potassium metabisulfite. If you back sweeten, potassium sorbate and Campden tablets or potassium metabisulfite. You'll also need a mead or wine yeast. We're using Mangrove Jack's mead yeast, MO5. No rinse sanitizer. Yeast nutrients. Campden tablets or powder, potassium metabosite. If you back sweeten, potassium sorbate, and Campden tablets or potassium metabisulfite. During the primary fermentation, we are using 1 kilograms of lucerne honey, 200 to 300 milliliters of English breakfast tea, and 2 liters of additive-free apple juice. After racking, we will explore aging with other flavors such as toasted oak, vanilla bean, cinnamon sticks, or other spices. We will also consider if we need to back sweeten the mead, add more honey to give a sweeter result. Time to sterilize. Follow all directions on the packet. Soak everything in the sterilization liquid and swish some liquid around in the flagons. Allow it all to air dry. Now it's time to start caramelizing the honey, so grab the pot and put the honey in it. This honey has crystallized, but that's okay. Heating it will turn it back into a liquid form. You want to heat slowly on medium to low heat and constantly stir it so you don't burn the sugars. This process can take 30 to 60 minutes. I stopped the caramelization process at 50 minutes as it had a lovely caramel flavor, and I didn't want to burn the sugars by taking it too far. Turn off the heat. Now we add the apple juice. Begin by incorporating 500 milliliters into the caramelized honey. Do this bit by bit and be very careful, as the honey will bubble up and it may burn you if you go too fast. After you've mixed in the first 500 milliliters, you can go ahead and add the remaining 1.5 liters. It shouldn't bubble nearly as much, but still be careful. Whilst the caramelized honey and apple juice cool, it's time to brew a strong black breakfast tea. 1 tea bag to 200 to 300 milliliters of hot water should be plenty.
Later.
Once the tea has finished steeping, add it to the mead mixture along with a half-crushed Campden tablet. Now that you've mixed everything except the yeast and yeast nutrients together, you have a must. It's time to fill the flagon and let the Campden do its thing for 24 hours before we add the yeast. Don't forget to reserve some of the must so you can half-fill the hydrometer test jar. That way, you can get the original gravity reading. Put the bung and airlock on the flagon. Don't forget to put some water in the airlock. Then, read and record your hydrometer's reading. This is called the original gravity, or OG, and it is used to work out the alcohol content. My reading was 1.130. If I allow the fermentation to go dry, the yeast has consumed all the fermentable sugar, and no more sugar is left to ferment, the final reading will be 1.00, and my ABV will be 17.06%.
24 hours later.
After 24 hours, you will want to add about 2 grams of the yeast. You can use the whole packet, but it might rush the process and change the resulting flavor. You'll also want to use about 2 to 3 grams of nutrients. You will want to stagger this by using 1 gram on day 0, when the yeast is added. Then on day 2, add half of the remaining gram, and on day 5, add the final half. You can mix the nutrients in with a small amount of sterile water to ensure it mixes into the must well. In about 2 to 4 weeks, our primary fermentation should be completed, and we will be racking the Bochet and aging it with our other ingredients. Drop us a like and follow if you want to see the next steps and how the Bochet turns out.